Hey guys, you're listening to High Visibility with Amber Rose, live in the mix with Ethan West, brought to you by Liverpool Music City. Hello guys, my name's DJ Amber Rose. Welcome to our podcast. I am here today with Ethan West, who is also a DJ. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit, Ethan?
Hello, my name's Ethan. I'm a 20-year-old DJ from Liverpool. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me, Liverpool Music City.
Oh, I was going to say you're welcome, but it wasn't me. But you're still welcome. So how did you, what made you choose the genres that you play? What drew you to those genres?
I'm not entirely sure when it was that I realised I wanted to keep going with this disco, soulful kind of music. But I think it was probably about 2 years ago. I've been DJing for around a year or something like that. And I just found this music and it had just real instruments and stuff. I think it comes from, I've got a musical background. So hearing these tracks with real instrumentation in, I'm talking real bass guitars, electric pianos, strings and brass. I just connected to it instantly. And I'm never going back. I'm so happy to be able to play the music that I play today. You know, I never thought I'd be able to play this music that I love, so I'm really happy.
Yeah, so when you first started DJing, what was the sound that you first started with?
Just standard house, you know what I mean? You know what everyone kind of gets into, and it's just, I thought it was kind of everything and it was sound, and then I discovered this and I was like, nah, I'm sticking with this now and that's it. But yeah.
It's mad being a DJ and stepping into this world and the way that you hear music before you start playing with it and tweaking it and it becomes this thing that you're like, wow, there's so many levels to a song that draws me in and makes me want to go, this is what I want everyone to hear, and to be able to kind of get inside the song and play with it a little bit, actually exactly navigate through that
takes some time
and stuff.
Though, you know what I mean?
It takes time, and it's definitely a skill that develops over time. But yeah, so you said you started DJing 3 years ago.
I'd say around 3 years ago,
and you said you had a musical background before that. What was that?
Yeah, I've always kind of played guitar, piano, drums a bit as well. So I've always been fascinated and connected with instruments. So hearing dance tracks with instruments in, I was like, I want to stick with this.
Have you noticed any change of the demographic that listens to house and garage over the years?
I'd say definitely. Obviously, I haven't been around for ages, but from what I've heard from other people, things obviously you see on social media and everything, it definitely has changed. But I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think it's only becoming a bad thing when these people are coming to events for reasons other than the music. And we're starting to see a lot of that now. I think the introduction of no phone policies and stuff like that on the dance floor is going to be a massive thing for people staying there in the night, and the music staying in the night, and the energy's there. It's not escaping, you know what I mean?
I sorry to interrupt, but I just I think the engagement of the audience and that from the DJ or the performer or the artist or the MC even, there's definitely a constant kind of trance maybe of through the relationship of the audience and the reception of the music. And every time we're bringing our phones out,
that connection's gone. That. Straight away.
So we're having to kind of rebuild these connections over and over again, and we're never there's not a linear journey through this thing. There's times where I'll sit, me mates film something, or I've filmed something and it's I don't even remember that DJ playing that song because I've been completely out of it and on my phone and thinking of the caption.
Everyone takes these videos and thinks they're going to watch them back, and they'll never get watched back ever again.
Never watch them back.
Graveyard, there's so much.
And I was speaking about this with my mate the other day about it'll be the most incredible moments of the performance or the show that people get their phones out and they're watching the performance that they've probably paid money to come and watch
through the phone,
and they're watching through the phone,
through the phone, not even looking, just through the phone.
Be present. I think being present is such an incredible part of music. What do you think about that?
100%. You need to stay in there, especially for, as you were saying with the DJ, to be able to connect completely with the audience. It's essential. It's essential for every DJ to be able to understand what they might do next, you know, and what direction they want to take these people.
Yeah.
So I think,
Yeah, because the like you have to be a crowd controller. You have to take the audience on a journey with you. And I think with I think that's all. There's also a conversation to be had about how when a DJ is like aware that they're taking the crowd on a journey, that it's so much more enjoyable to when the DJ's just kind of like, what to play next kind of thing. And I think that's what makes an amazing DJ.
Because the audience takes that as well.
Yeah.
And they bounce back off the energy from the DJ and the audience. It's a mutual thing.
Yeah,
isn't it?
100%. So the genres of music that you play are more like how she said you play a bit of Afro as well, garage and stuff. These are genres that are deep rooted in Black communities and LGBT communities. That's where they originate from, which have now been evolved into like predominantly white crowds that come to listen to those genres of music. How do you feel about that?
I think what it all kind of comes down to really is how genres become commercialized. This is my opinion on this. I think record companies take massive advantage of small genres that are intimate and like, you know, could be man and your thing that like no one's ever heard. They take advantage of it and push it out to the, you know, the wider audiences, and then it no longer becomes theirs. It gets took advantage of by everyone, and the roots and reason behind why it started is long forgotten, for money and everything else. And then promoters get on top of it, and before you know it, it's no longer house music and it's no longer Black, or it's, you know. So I think that's what we're seeing. But as I said before, it's not all on like the wrong people being there or white people being there or whatever. It's people being there for reasons other than music. Yeah. And that's what I think it is.
Yeah, 100%. Because I think especially like when a genre of music or an art form has evolved through struggle or suffering or creating this space where we play this music for people, like for like-minded people or people who are part of our community, we do that because we're not being accepted in mainstream spaces, which are now being evolved into like mainstream. Like there's a lot of music that you hear in the charts are by like Black artists and LGBT artists. Like it's very popular now to have those, where there was a time like what that evolved from was pain, suffering and being pushed to the side. Yeah.
I feel like underground doesn't really last long nowadays at all. It's exactly what I'm saying. These people, it just gets took advantage of.
Yeah.
It's exactly what happened in the 70s with like disco, bit of a history lesson.
Yeah.
But like Saturday Night Fever, disco was something with Black, Latin communities and gay communities. Saturday Night Fever comes out, it's a white straight man at the front of it, and that's what everyone thought it was, but it wasn't.
Yeah, 100%. I think that same process can be said for so many art forms, genres of music, and like even taking it to just working class and it not being about identification and it being about struggle. Like we were speaking earlier before the podcast about how Liverpool is a good example of a place that is dragging its feet in terms of evolution for commercialism and for money. Where and now those people who are at the head of that, so you like London, if you want to go global, like America, they're kind of circling back to working class places like Liverpool.
Yeah.
So do you feel that predominantly white audiences in these genres affect DJs of colour that are coming out and coming into these spaces?
I think so. I think for people that might not have the confidence in their own ability as well, and these kind of things, because I know I definitely didn't when I was first starting, and you know, still getting there now, you know, but if I was coming into the scene and I felt like I wasn't represented behind the decks or even in a crowd as well, that'd immediately throw me off. It'd knock me off my confidence, feel like, what can I bring, you know, maybe like how can I resonate with these people, you know. So I think that's something that a lot of people probably struggle with in Liverpool. We're not seeing enough Black mixed DJs, you know, we're not seeing enough people of colour behind the decks. And it could be because of that.
Yeah, it could be because of that. How do you feel being Black or mixed, however you identify yourself? How do you feel DJing these genres of music that stem from like your culture and now you're maybe on a lineup with and all the other DJs are white. How do you feel about that?
I wouldn't say it affects me too much. I'm just happy to be able to play the music that I love, and I hope that the people that are listening are loving it too. You know, I think sharing cultures, sharing different cultures' music is just so important. You know, and I like to hope that the people that are listening are like, yeah, this is amazing. It's different.
Yeah,
and they become involved with it.
Yeah. Have you faced any challenges maybe in your growth as a person or as an artist in seeing that?
It's hard to say. Like, I'm not sure. I'm not one to make assumptions or anything, but I don't know, maybe some things could have happened, or maybe I didn't get a certain thing, or I haven't had an equal opportunity with a certain thing, but I'm not one to say exactly this has happened or whatever. But I guess there's a lot of people that probably have struggled with that. So it's a tough one to say, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is tough. Whereabouts in Liverpool are you from?
I live in Maghull.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, like I think Liverpool is definitely a place that there's a like all over the country, all over the world. There's definitely a predominantly white audience that listens to house and stuff. But in Liverpool, that's its own thing. Like that is. It's very, very Scouse, like white Scouse.
It is.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it must be. I never really looked at it from that point of view, but it must be difficult, like to see that if you're not from Liverpool, it's hard to understand.
The house scene.
Yeah.
It's just like such a massive. There's so many events in Liverpool, and it'd be rare to go to one of these many events and there'd be like a black person on the lineup or whatever. If it's, I don't want to say average, but there's so many different house events in Liverpool that are all playing quite similar music. It's rare to see people of colour on them lineups, but I guess in other genres you're seeing black DJs, but in house there's a real lack of black DJs in house music in Liverpool, especially. Yeah,
100%. And I think, like, especially with your sound and crossing over with kind of like disco house and Afro house and like celebrating that, and I think that is your sound might be different to like. I don't know, going to Blackstone Warehouse and hearing like Joel Corey and the warm-up DJs are all like, they all kind of look the same. They all have the same like swagger, the same clothes, and there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But I don't think promoters are doing it knowingly. And that is what the worrying thing is.
Yeah. They're not aware of.
They're not aware that they're not like they're not diversifying their lineup, and the only times you notice people diversifying the lineup is when they're seeking out to do that. And that, I think, is the thing that worries me, is and especially as a woman DJing as well, there's often like the ticking of boxes, which is do you know what I mean?
I couldn't agree with that more. I think we're seeing that in so many different places as well, in jobs and stuff. But I think it just needs to be about talent. If you've got the talent, then you get booked for whatever it is. It's regardless of your skin colour or whatever. It all comes down to talent and your ability as a DJ or as an artist.
Yeah, because art and music, it was birthed as an escapism thing. It's as much as it can be politically relevant.
Yeah,
I think we forget that art and music is for the soul. It's for us to be free. It's for us to experience, like, to escape. I love the word escapism, because for me that is exactly what music and art is, escapism.
Your music dissertation was on escapism.
There you go. So you know all about that then, don't you? But yeah, it's such a beautiful thing that because it's such a there's such a big price tag on music and the look, like that's a massive thing that like annoys me. And he said a bad word then. It's a massive thing that annoys me, because it's like I'm seeing certain DJs on lineups and being like, oh, I don't look like that, I haven't got this, and even just taking a step back and looking at how my how I've evolved through being a DJ. I mean, like I've not to you can cut this out if you want, but I think it's relevant to the conversation. But I've like lost weight. I've started doing my hair differently, buying more expensive clothes, buying more expensive makeup, because I'm like, I have to look a certain way to get bookings.
But what do you think it is that's making you feel like that? Is it mainly social media, what you're seeing when you're going out? What?
It's the sexualization of women in the music industry, and it's like, if I don't look a certain way, if I don't tick these boxes, if I don't present as a visually entertaining person, I'm scared. I mean, I don't know if it's true or not, because I haven't I don't know. I don't know if this is factual, but my experience and my perception of it is that I won't be like somebody who's prettier than me or better looking than me or more got better clothes than me will be chosen instead of me, and we could be like similar in terms of our style and talent, but because she looks better than me, she's gonna get that booking. Do you get me?
It's so hard, isn't it? The pressures that you get as an artist, it's tough. Liverpool is bad for that though as well, I will say. I think you know, it makes you want to change everything about yourself. If you see someone doing a certain thing that looks like it's working, you know, I do understand that. Definitely. Yeah,
it's mad. It's it's mad, but do you think that there's a disconnect between the origins of house and garage and stuff and the communities of colour that they stem from?
I think there's a disconnect.
And the LGBT communities also.
I think there's a disconnect in general. I think with a lot of people, like, music has, I'd say especially house music, because it's everywhere, has become something that you just listen to if you go for a drink or whatever, or, you know, it's not really like we go out and we listen to house music and we really get involved in it and understand it and like educate ourselves on it a little bit. I feel like that's become lost. I think in general, the origins of house and dance music and club culture have just gone missing, like, for a lot of people. But myself, I just got stuck in with that straight away as soon as I got into music. But not everyone does, you know, not everyone does. Not a lot of DJs do as well. No. So yeah, I think there is a disconnect, definitely, but in general with a lot of people.
Yeah. What do you think as a DJ or an artist or a member of the musical community, like, and also speaking with me, who's also a member of that community, like, what do you think that we can do to evolve the industry and to make a change and to create like a space to recreate that space that people feel safe and can enjoy, and it's not all about like phones and looking pretty and all that. Do you know what I mean? Bottle service and stuff. Like, what do you think we can do to evolve that and recreate it?
I think we could do a whole podcast on this. Anyway,
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
I'm sure we will.
But I think the main thing, and I've always stuck with this from the start, is only represent music that truly moves you, like on an emotional level, physical level. Like, do not change anything about yourself. If you love a certain style of music, just stick with it, and people will eventually connect with it. Don't change it to get attention or anything like that. Just truly represent music that moves you. And I think if more people do that, there should be a bit more of a connection to music and people going out and stuff.
100%. I think just to add on to what you've just said there, like, I think especially at the beginning of my journey, it was like, what, I have to download that because it's popular. What do people want to hear?
Going to be poor top 10s and all that.
And do you know what? This concept makes me howl.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
I'm judging, or I was anyway. I'm actively trying to stop doing this. I'm judging what I think a crowd of people want to hear based on what they look like. So based on my perception of them, I'm just going, right, I reckon, that they're going to like this.
I reckon they're going to like this, exactly.
Yeah, and it's completely like, no, because fair enough, as you're coming up and you're trying to establish your sound, the only places that, well, I can't speak for anyone else's experience, but the places that I was getting booked for in that, like, part of my journey as a DJ were only really places and events that I kind of had to cater to other people. And there's definitely like a refined kind of
which is
direction.
tough. It's hard to do that, you know what I mean? It takes your passion out of it for a bit. You know what I mean? You sat there like, oh, what am I doing?
Yeah, 100%. I think there's still the excitement though, so you don't mind doing it.
Yeah.
But I haven't lost the excitement for DJing. I love DJing. It's my favourite thing. But I've lost that kind of like, I'll do anything for anything. I don't care. If you pay me this much for an hour, I don't care. I just want to play music.
You've got to be selective.
Exactly. But it's evolving, and as I'm evolving as a person, I'm evolving. My sound's evolving. My selection's evolving. My reception of the music is evolving.
Yeah.
How I, when I go to events and watch DJs perform, I'm watching them like, wow, what am I feeling when they're playing this music? And the DJs that I enjoy the most are DJs that obviously aren't playing for the crowd, they're playing for themselves. And it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter what they play. They could be playing music that I don't even like that much. But because they're so authentic and they're only playing with passion and they're playing exactly what you've just said. They're playing to like, they're playing music that only aligns with them, and then it's up to us to catch a vibe. You set the tone, I catch on.
I guess you've just got to play music that you love and hope that other people would love it. I think it's as simple as that, and eventually they will.
Yeah. So do you think that eventually we will?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. If more people in Liverpool are playing these different kinds of music that people aren't familiar with, you know, they're like, whoa, what is this? Like, I've seen it so many times when I've been playing and people are coming up like, what is this? Give me it right now. I've never heard of this ever. And they they love it and just follow it for like forever. I know a few people that have completely changed the music tastes based on that. And yeah, that's what needs to happen in Liverpool, in my opinion, because there's so much similarity. You know, when you go out, you know what I mean? You could go door to door and just hear the same music.
Honest to God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think there definitely is, there is diversity, like, happening more and more in Liverpool. I'm from Toxteth, and like that being like predominantly black community, and there being a like Africa area, and there was something called Brouhaha a while ago, which was like, it was like a really small carnival going from town to Princess Park, and then we'd have like a little, like there'd be like food stores and stuff. We have Granby Market, which is like, that's just the community, and we have this community based, which it's not necessarily about skin color. It's about our community and like including each other and that having that like neighborly kind of vibe. And I've watched that change a lot and be gentrified. People, it is gentrification definitely, because the values of the houses are going up. They're doing more work on the streets, and we're seeing less crime, which is that's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but the community is being pushed out because the community can't afford to live there anymore. Yeah. But anyway, that's a sidetrack. But the point being
that is true though. Yeah.
It is true. Yeah. Point being is though, like growing up, I did see a lot of black music that listened, like a lot of reggae. Yeah. My dad loved reggae, bashment and like Afrobeats and like Afrobeats, not like Rema and that. I mean like djembe drums and stuff in the palm house. Like we used to like, that was what I grew up seeing, and that was my influence. That's why I love the music I love. And I think I see that side of Liverpool that is so small. Yeah. And we, like the people I grew up with, we see this little section of Liverpool, and the people that do like that sort of music. But like Liverpool as a whole, I forget that it is just like house and like all that.
Yeah.
But I'm pure going on a tangent. But what I wanted to say when you were saying that about like the club scenes, you go door to door and that in Kitchen Street, our friend Rafi does an event called Chop Life, and it's growing all the time. Communities growing. People are coming from people coming from around to see the vibes, and there's like a lot of like Amapiano, Afro house, bashment, Afrobeat, R&B, Bala Funk, funky house, and like there's a big like there's a wide range of music that gets played there. And then the odd times, like Kitchen Street will have like a house event playing downstairs, and a couple of like John Heads will come up and be like, what's going on here? And they'll be listening to the Amapiano, and they'll be like that. And they'll stay and enjoy it. And I think they could be like, DJs are playing to what they think Liverpool wants to hear. Yeah. Scouse House. Yeah. But I think Liverpool can be quite open to hearing more
they can
of
be.
that.
They're just not hearing it enough.
They're just not hearing it enough.
That's what I'm saying. Like
all of that is led to this. What I've just said.
Smashed it.
Yeah, my D.
Smashed it, to be fair. Innit? Yeah. I love that you said John Eds as well.
Yeah.
Right.
We love John Eds.
Yeah.
but no, seriously though, I think it's just not like
there's not enough of it.
They're
not hearing enough of it.
Yeah, and that links into what I said about Liverpool dragging its feet in terms of evolution, because the dissolving, what's it like, the dissolve of genres now, and how all genres are dissolving into each other.
Okay, what do you mean? Like how they're all kind of blending into each other? Like they're all quite similar, is that what you're trying to say?
And how, like when we were walking here, what we were talking about genres being kind of obsolete now and not having to like put yourself in a pigeonhole and just, this is my vibe, rather than these are the 5 genres that I play or 3 genres that I play. And I think in terms of Liverpool dragging its feet, you see London doing events and there's a big like range of music. Manchester as well, there's a big range of music. You have events like Infrared and Habitat and Trap House, which they do such a massive range of music, and people go and expect the unexpected kind of thing. Where in Liverpool it's
that's
more
driving
like,
people there. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that's so hard to do in Liverpool though, because people are going out to these nights. They do expect to hear like standard house music. I don't want to say standard, but I think what I'm trying to build at the Rumba, I think we're getting towards that. People are coming because they know it's going to be something a bit different. You know what I mean? We play all kinds of different music, and that's just necessary. As I said before, we need more people doing that. I know For the Records are doing it, I know Glass are doing it. There's so many events in Liverpool that aren't doing it, but there's a few that are keeping it going.
What's La Rumba? Tell me about that.
That's it. My event. I run it with a few of my boss mates, and we're playing all kinds of disco, soulful, afro, deep house, garage. We've got an event coming up on the 12th of October.
Amazing. Be there or be square. Guys.
We got Grant Nelson headlining, Sai Says co-headliner, me and Jay back to back, and AC Groove, Callum from For the Record. So that's gonna be a sick one in Leaf on Bowl Street.
Oh, sick! Amazing.
Upstairs.
Tickets,
tickets on Skiddle.
I will be there. What made you want to create a space like that?
It's hard. It's really hard to say. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know.
You don't know? Do you think that having a space like that benefits people?
To be fair, like me, Reese, Lucas, Aaron, we all kind of came together. I had a really good time, and we were all really into our music, and we all have so much different like ideas in music, and we just wanted to put it all together and go for it. I think that's what it really was. We just came together at a good time, and as I said before, like when I first started out, I did never think I'd be able to play this music that I love, and I saw that as an opportunity to be like, okay, I can put my music out there with this, and I think it's paid off.
Yeah, that's amazing. How long have you been running the event for?
Well, it's our first birthday coming up on the 12th.
Amazing.
So
that's
just under a year.
Yeah, that's really cool. So how important do you think it is representing like DJs of colour on like lineups? Like how important do you think that is for you, for Liverpool, for the music industry?
Yeah, I think it's essential.
Yeah.
As I said before, it's people want to feel like they're represented on both sides, both sides of the decks. It can really knock your confidence if you don't feel like you are. But yeah, I think people need to feel like they can come out and do what they want to do and show their culture, their sound, their thing that they love. And people will resonate with it if they're passionate enough with it.
So you said that you didn't feel like you could play the sounds that you loved before. Why is that? Yeah,
it's like what we've been talking about for the past 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Liverpool is so commercialised.
Yeah.
It is so commercialised. People are just playing music because they think that's what people are like. And the music that I wanted to play, I wasn't sure if people would like. And I'm trying to get out there. I didn't want to play a tune and everyone's like, what is this?
What is that? Because Scousers can be really judgmental.
Exactly. And he'd be like, what is he playing? He's never getting booked again. And that'd be me finished. But I realised that I could. And I think it was my first proper gig playing that music was for the record, the Garden Party in the Baltic. Mm-hmm. Was it year and a half ago, I think.
In Kitchen Street?
No, in the Botanical Garden.
Oh, sick. Yeah, amazing.
Heavy, yeah. And that was just such a big release for me because I've been building up this music for so long and I was like, this is a place where I can actually play it.
Yeah.
So I was buzzing. I wouldn't be playing the music I am today, really, if it wasn't for the record. So I've always thanked the boys for that.
Yeah, amazing. I think just to give some light to places like Kitchen Street and Botanical Gardens, Kashmir Gardens, District, and just to name a few, I could go on and on. There are places that actively try and create inclusive spaces. You have like Sonic Youth in Kitchen Street and Chop Life, and they do Amapiano takeovers there and stuff. They definitely do try to diversify those spaces, but I think it's quite often like I'll go to these events or I'll get booked for these events and there's not that many people who are attending them. And I think like...
What events? Wait, what kind of events?
The events that aren't playing Scouse House, basically.
Yeah.
Like events that are playing the music that you love to play and that I love to play, like Liverpool, like the majority aren't really going to these events. And I think there's also like a follow suit kind of thing where they go, no one's going to go to that, so I'm not going to go to that.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's that we don't have those people that will enjoy those music. I think after COVID, there was a bit of a plateau kind of thing in people going where they think people are going to go. It's judging what they think rather than what actually is. And then like also I think the student thing comes into that as well.
It's also like clubs struggling, to be honest. Clubs are struggling. They can't be picky about what night they're putting on. They might not want a certain night on, but they've got to.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? We're at that point now. So yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think needs to change in order for the visibility of DJs of colour in electronic music to improve?
I think we need to see more people of colour behind the decks. We need more people representing music that they love. And I just think, if people keep doing that, we should be at a place where they feel like they're able to be seen and they can do what they love. But it's hard and it might take a while. You know what I mean? I don't think there's one fix or an easy fix at all for doing that.
Yeah.
But that's a tough question. Like,
it is a tough question. It definitely is a tough question. I think I think it's relative to the evolution of social media as well, and what's normalized and that people need to keep speaking up and pointing people out, because as I think I said and you agreed with me, it's not that the promoter doesn't want any people of colour or want any women or want any members of the LGBT community or any minorities on the lineup. It's that they just don't think, or that the market's saturated with a lot of white males and they don't think to include, and the only reason they do is to tick a box. I think we as DJs need to be more vocal about it.
Definitely. I think things like this is really going to help. You know, if people are seeing stuff like this, us having a conversation about these things is really going to help. Because it is something that's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's kind of spoken about, but
but not really.
Not really
at all.
Especially with DJs as well, because we're behind the decks and everyone just thinks that we're like happy with our glasses on, just playing some tunes. But it's like, no, we're people too.
I think more DJs need to speak to each other as well. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there can be a bit of like I don't know how to explain it, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
More DJs need to talk to each other.
There's not as much of a community, but I do you know what though? I think over the last few years, the DJ community is being more, it's growing for one.
Yeah,
like everyone's a DJ. I feel like everyone's a DJ. Oh, I can DJ. Oh, I've done that. Yeah. And that's great. Like, don't get me wrong. That's amazing. And I also think that ties into genres of music, kind of going hand in hand a little bit more, even like creative sectors, as in like content creation, music, art, like podcasts. It all like they all tie into each other somehow, and yeah, I think the DJ community is we're one that is going to rise up, and we're going to speak out, and we're going to change the layout, because it's not working. A lot of things aren't working, and it needs to evolve. So like us as DJs being able to like come together and use the knowledge that we have and what we've I think DJs are quite observant people.
Very.
And so the information that we observe, like I'm always watching things. I'm watching social media, and I'm watching trends rise and fall. I think DJs definitely need to speak up more. Like what we're doing right now, two DJs in conversation about the struggles that we face, particularly that you face. This doesn't show me a podcast that has two DJs talking
it doesn't happen.
about their experience. Exactly.
Happen.
And I think it's very important for us, because it's our job to acknowledge like music trends, to acknowledge like how people receive the music that we play, to acknowledge like artists that we think should get more recognition, so we play them. Like I think we are very observant, so there's a lot that we could do. And my question to you maybe would be, and I'm completely wigging it here, my question to you would be like, what I have asked this question, but in a different way. What do you think that we could do to create more of an awareness maybe of the issues that everyone faces in the creative industry, but DJs in particular?
Maybe definitely more stuff like this, but maybe like some kind of social thing where people can like sit down and just talk to each other. Maybe some DJs that have never met each other, because this is my first time meeting you.
Yeah, same.
So like something like this, but obviously in maybe like a little bar or something. But obviously that takes maybe a promoter or something to do that. But I think that's a good idea. Maybe someone doing that and just doing like a DJ social where you can go midweek and talk to each other and
bring
just communicate, innit?
Have a jam.
Just in case.
Yeah, because I think DJs are like really cool as well. Like we're really cool people. Like we're dead funny, dead vibes. Like I think pure going off on one here, but I definitely think that DJs could do more to get our voices heard and to speak out about what we see.
Because like we don't just play music. Like I live and breathe everything to do with music. Like this is my life. So speaking to someone about that is fucking love to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't. There's times where you'll know. Like there's times where you speak to another DJ and you have these little passing comments. Oh, I never did this or this. But like actually, like with purpose, sitting down and discussing like experience in the music industry. I think it's something that we definitely don't do enough, and we don't value enough. But there's maybe we're gonna set trends here, Ethan.
I think we can do it.
I think we can do it too. So a two-part question, and this is my last question, by the way.
Okay.
A two-part question. Firstly, is what's a message or advice you'd give to upcoming DJs who are like mixed, Black, Asian, minorities, LGBTQ, whatever, even girls, who are entering the house and garage music scenes today? What advice would you give to them?
I guess I'd just re-stress what I said earlier on. Only represent music that moves you to your core. Like, just do that. Put yourself out there with it. Don't be afraid to. Eventually people will understand it and take it in. People probably love it. They just don't hear it enough. You know, as you said before, it's people aren't hearing it. You know what I mean? They might actually get into it, but they're not hearing it enough. So absorb music from all other cultures. Like that's all I do. I'm just taking in information from all these different cultures and all their music, and just try and put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you've learned maybe that you would tell someone who was coming up, like what you've learned that you thought that you wished you'd learned earlier?
That's a heavy one.
Heavy one?
Yeah, heavy one. Confidence is a tough thing. Confidence is a really hard thing to deal with this. I guess it is with any artist. Putting something out that they really care about, and that is like everything to them. Just don't be afraid. Yeah, don't be afraid. Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would say as well, is just, if this is something you love, you can't let what you think someone else is going to think of you get in the way of that, because who's to know?
I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, who is to know? Like, there's times where I'll go to record a mix and I'll maybe do a set list, and then I'll record it and then listen to it back, and I'm like, no, it's not good enough. When in actual fact, like, I don't even need a set list. It's like, I know I can transition.
It's just perfectionist.
It's being a perfectionist. I think a piece of advice I'd give to someone is that, like, what you're hearing isn't what we're hearing. Like, we're not scrutinizing love. Like, it's okay, just create. Like, this is one thing. Like, maybe someone who's doing maths or someone who's a lawyer or a doctor or a surgeon, it's like, if you fuck up, like, someone could die. But if I fuck up, no one's gonna die. Like, it's probably just gonna be like, oh, okay, that's what she wanted me to hear. That's fine. So I think you're completely right. Is just not being afraid and having confidence and knowing that, like, this art, it flows through us.
I'd say if you're a DJ as well, try not to get into that thing of seeing music as a tool, because that happens so easily. I know I've spoke to my mate Jade Edwards so much about this, because
big up Jade Edwards.
Big up Jade, because our heads go all the time with this, and it's just like, you're looking at music going, that'll work, that's boss. Yeah, they might like that, and it's like, it's no longer music at that point. You're like, that's for them. Yeah. And it shouldn't be like that. Yeah.
100%. And it is easy to get lost in that. And I think the most, maybe not successful, because you can't, I don't want to put a measurable like thing on this, but the people who enjoy what they do the most, they've learned how to rise above that. And I like to use this metaphor of like the ozone layer and like stepping outside of the ozone layer and just feeling what it would feel like if you weren't anxious, or you weren't worrying about other people's views of you, or you weren't worried about how you look, or do you know what I mean? Stepping out that ozone layer, what would it feel like if I didn't have all these like these earthly problems? Do you know what I mean? Like, your soul is what wants to create and what wants to enjoy art. So keep I think the people who enjoy what they do the most is the people who learn to keep it that way.
Yeah, and that can take a while.
Yeah, it takes a while to learn. So I think at 20 years old, for you to like be able to understand that is crazy. So like that's amazing. So like that, from I think a collective answer from me and Ethan would be that if you're stepping into the creative industry and especially as a DJ, is remember that this is something that you enjoy. Yeah. And not something that you have to do for anyone else. Yeah.
It's only for you. Shouldn't be for anyone else other than you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last little part of the question is like, what advice would you give little Ethan?
Little Ethan?
No, I'm not Dr. Phil. But what advice would you give
I'll
little
Ethan?
Be
talking.
Like, just I don't know, just like maybe it's up to you for interpretation. Okay. Like maybe at the start of your DJing career, before you started DJing as a child who you now know is going to go on to be a DJ. What advice would you give to your younger self?
It did take me a while to figure out that I'm able to play what I want. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But yeah, I do this for me. No, I will never do this for anyone other than me. Like, I've just made a full disco track with like live brass, live strings, all produced and recorded by me and written.
Amazing.
You won't hear it yet. But that is just for me. You know what I mean? People might not like it, but I've spent weeks and it's just for me. And I'd say, just make sure it's for me, little me. What?
Yeah, little Ethan.
Yeah. So,
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're at the part of the podcast we like to call the hot Q hot seat, which Ethan is sitting in right now. How are you feeling in the hot Q hot seat, Ethan?
Sweating like,
right. So this is a section where I ask you quick fire questions, and you just tell me the first thing that comes into your head. Obviously, to an extent, I'd be saying no madness on here. But yeah, so the first question is, who is the most inspirational DJ to you?
I'd say Kerry Chandler's up there.
Okay.
He's, probably number one to me. Just, he's such a legend. Such a legend of house music and deep house. Just a pioneer of deep house in general. DJing with reel-to-reel tape machines. I don't think anyone knows how hard that is to do and how awkward tape is to fuck with anyway. He's an absolute legend. Playing keyboard while he plays off. Yeah,
amazing.
He's the man. Yeah.
Sick. Favorite songs to drop during a set?
I'd say right now, Breathe by Blaze is probably up there. It's just the unbelievable songwriting from Blaze.
Best moment you've had during a set?
Probably dropping Saturday in Kitchen Street, supporting Paige Tomlinson for the record. And all the lads behind me just jumping, just going nuts. It's literally me background on my phone, heavy. Yeah,
I love that. Heavy, that's so sick. Favorite set you've experienced?
It probably was that night. That night. Just the energy was just there all night. Yeah, so.
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm due to. People always talk about it. And where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Hopefully still in music, hopefully relevant, but that's not what I'm doing it for. I want to have my own record label going. I want to be recording artists and bands more. And I want my music to be out there and people to know me music. Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. And the last question is, what DJ should we look out for?
I'd say definitely DJ Amber Rose, Jade Edwards, Tuesday Club. They're doing some sick stuff at the moment, all vinyl. We got Mate Reese, even Aaron, JP, all the boys. But yeah, me and Reese are doing something called Chocolate Orange, which is quite funny. Playing Afro house and disco and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of people at the moment.
Yeah, sick. So you've been locked into High Visibility with DJ Amber Rose in the mix with Ethan West. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Liverpool Music City, for making this all possible.
We need to do it again.
We do need to do it again. Amazing. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks for listening.